to feel workers' pain. On the foreign scene, pro-Trump influencers raise fears of migrant invasion ahead of U.S. election. In sports, Ukrainian soccer squad train in Germany ahead of Euro 2024. Now the news in detail. Despite passionate appeal from property owners and residents of some buildings around Ugogo Park, Abakwanike, Enugu, the Enugu state government on Thursday demolished about 10 buildings in the area. Correspondent David Okoro, who witnessed the demolition exercise, said other buildings, including a school whose roof had already been removed apparently by the owners, have been marked for demolition. National TV crew was prevented from covering the demolition by armed paramilitary men stationed at the area. A respondent who spoke on condition of anonymity disclosed that the owner of a demolished two-story building is hospitalized out of shock, with his fate still unknown. Those who spoke off camera also lamented the hardship being inflicted on citizens by the spate of demolitions of residential and building structures in parts of the state. The remains of late veteran journalist and former member of the National Assembly, Senator Ayogu Eze, were laid to rest at his hometown at Enugu-Ejike in Igbeze North local government area of Enugu State on Friday, 14th June 2024. Ahead of the burial, a solemn night of tribute was held on Tuesday at the Amadio Event Center in Enugu, during which family members, friends and associates gathered to honor the memory of a late politician. Correspondent Charles Pius reports.
Among prominent personalities who came to honor Senator Ayogu Eze, who was a former commissioner for information in Enugu State, includes the Enugu State Governor, Peter Mba. Mba lamented the loss of the late senator, whom he described as a rare gem.
From what we have heard this evening, you do not even need to have known Senator Ayogu Eze to get a sense of his devotion to public service.
Ayogu's daughter, who missed the presence of her father during her wedding in February as a result of his ill health, recounts her experiences.
I have tried to write a tribute, but I found it very, very difficult to do so. My father was a very, very great man, and he was many things, as people like to say about human beings, but he was many things to many people, and he was a lot of things to us. If I tried to put those things into words, I'd probably have to write a book.
Dignitaries from various walks of life, including Vin Martin Yilo, Onyemuche Nnamani, Reverend Dr. Emeka Ngwoke, Professor Charles Eze, Emeka Ukwaba, Frank Gasogwa, and Captain Everest Naji, narrated the extraordinary life of service that Ayogu Eze lived.
Ayogu was such a family man. He loved his wife, he loved his kids, and I'm sure if he had the power, if not for anything else, he would have still wanted to be here to see this young man grow older.
I don't know where, how, and what to do in the absence of Ayogu Eze.
While I was in the United States, he was a spokesperson of the Senate. And each time I read reports from Nigeria or listened to the news and heard him, give a synopsis of their deliberations, you felt that something good was going on in Nigeria. We don't have someone giving that kind of image today, I'm sorry to say.
His death came as a rude shock to some of us that never knew. He took ill for some time.
He has never played the second fiddle. He's always reading high and so on. He's a character. He interacted so well with people and had no boundaries in terms of friendship. He had quite a number of friends. And I count myself fortunate that I was one of the friends he had when he was alive, actually.
God said, whatever happens, praise me. And Apostle Paul said that to be in heaven is better. So if God says that, and Paul said that, it means that where he is now is a better place to be.
Journalists who knew Ayogo Eze personally, such as Aka Ezeaka, Clinton Ume, and Joseph Abu, recounted their experiences with him and his impact on their lives and career.
He was interested in my life. That's the summary of it. So much so that he took me as his personal brother and son.
Always willing to tell you that this is the right thing to do, and he doesn't just correct you, he does the correction himself to tell you he understands his job.
He encouraged journalism, encouraged young journalists, he mentored a lot of people, including myself, and I was happy to be associated with him as a journalist.
The evening was filled with eulogies and reflections on a man who dedicated his life to serving humanity. Ayogo Eze, who died at 65, will be laid to rest on Friday, June 14, 2024, in his hometown, Enugu-Ezike, Enugu State. Until his death, Ayogo Eze served as the Enugu State representative at the Revenue Allocation Mobilization and Fiscal Commission and was a member of the board of the Nigerian Ports Authority. He was chairman of the Senate Committee on Works after serving as chairman of the Senate Committee on Information and Media. Before his political career, Eze was a distinguished journalist, rising to the rank of editor at both the Guardian newspaper and the Newswatch magazine. His exceptional contributions to journalism and public service will be greatly missed.
Thursday called for the urgent rehabilitation of the road linking Emekuku, Emi, and Olakwa communities in Owerri North local government area. The House made a call following a motion moved by the Owerri North representative at the Assembly, Kelechi Oforum, APC Owerri North. Oforum, while moving the motion, said that the road was a major access that connected two federal roads, the Owerri-Umuahia Road and Owerri-Aba Road. He said that erosion and flooding had collapsed a major part of the road. Oforum expressed worry that farmers, school children, elderly people, commuters and other strategic users that transit goods and services through the road found it difficult, especially during the rainy season. Oforum prayed the House to urge Governor Hope Uzodinma to mandate the state ministries of Works, Transport, Environment, and other related agencies and parastatals to immediately commence the rehabilitation of the road to forestall further loss of lives and property. The Anambra State Governor, Charles Soludo, on Wednesday said governors and other elected officials should earn minimum wage to reflect the current reality of Nigeria. He said contrary to the flamboyant lifestyles portrayed by governors and elected officials, the country is facing a dire financial crisis. The governor spoke at a special edition of a platform, an event organized by the Covenant Nation to promote national development. According to him, Nigeria's economic woes are exacerbated by the extravagant lifestyles of government officials, which are sustained at the expense of the nation's wealth. Soludo urged his colleagues and other elected officials to cut wasteful spending. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ebonyi Command, has denied the news making the rounds that its operative abducted a native of Amaedim Ngongo community in the state. Some national dailies had allegedly accused NSCDC operatives of abducting one innocent Oji following a land dispute in the community. However, the state commandant of the Corps, Elijah Willie, said that the command only effected the arrest of Oji. Willie explained that the operatives arrested him following a petition written against him by innocent Igwe alleging threat to life. He also said that Oji was alleged to be involved in causing intra- and inter-communal crisis, trespassing, vandalism, and other conducts likely to cause a breach of public peace. He said that he received the petition against the said Oji and his court from Odiegu Ibekwe Chambers, demanding to bring the culprits to justice. The commandant said that he would not fold his arms and watch the community go into turmoil, stating that the arrest was done for justice to stand and the publication was a distraction for him. The suspect, Innocent Oji, also known as Obona, was arrested and detained. The Supreme Court on Thursday reserved judgment in a suit filed by the federal government against the governors of the 36 states of the federation over alleged misconduct in the administration of local government areas. The suit, filed by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, is seeking full autonomy for all local government areas in the country. They are also praying the Supreme Court to stop governors from further constituting caretaker committees to run the affairs of local government as against the constitutionally recognized and guaranteed democratic system. The suit is seeking for an order permitting the funds standing in the credits of local governments to be directly channeled to them from the Federation account in line with the provisions of the Constitution as against the alleged unlawful joint accounts created by governors. It equally applied for an order of injunction restraining the governors, their agents and privies from receiving, spending or tampering with funds released from the Federation account for the benefit of local governments when no democratically elected local government system is put in place in the states. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFund, says it has published a full list of institutions that have submitted their complete students' data for upload on June 24th. NELFund's head, Media and Public Relations, Nasiri Ayitogo, in a statement issued in Abuja on Thursday, says this would ensure transparency and encourage the participation in the scheme by undergraduate applicants. According to the statement, uploading the data to NELFund student verification system is currently ongoing for the state-owned institutions. Ayitogo explained that in order for applicants to be able to access the fund, the individual details must feature in institutions' submitted data sent to NELFund verification system. More on the news. Tinubu says it would approve what Nigeria can afford concerning the minimum wage. Ukraine's defense minister Umerov meets NATO's Stoltenberg. Don't go away. Welcome back. You're still watching Signature TV News. President Bola Tinubu, at a dinner to mark Nigeria's 25 years of unbroken democracy in Abuja, as on Wednesday, said that he would approve a new minimum wage that the government can afford. Tinubu thanked those who stood by him over the years, promising Nigerians that he won't depart from the tenets of democratic governance. He also pledged to bring down the prices of food items by tackling the menace of banditry that has forced many farmers away from their farms. He also rallied Nigerians to support his administration's efforts to strengthen the economy and informed citizens that a bill for a new minimum wage will be sent to the National Assembly soon, among other things. Meanwhile, the organized labor has rejected President Bola Tinubu's claims that an agreement has been reached on a new national minimum wage in its nationwide broadcast to mark Democracy Day. June 12 is a day set aside to mark democracy and remember Nigeria's martyrs of the Fourth Republic who lost their lives in the struggle that enthroned the present uninterrupted democracy in the country. In this report, Signature TV correspondent Ebenezer Odo reflects on this long walk to June 12, Nigeria's 6th Democracy Day. His report.
Democracy in Nigeria is as old as the country is from 1914. It has, however, been disrupted by a series of military juntas from January 1966 to 1979 and from 31st December 1983 to 1999. The major military rule began with the sacking of the Shagari-led civilian administration in 1983 by General Buhari, who was later overthrown in 1985 by General Babangida. General Babangida's regime lasted for about 8 years, within which he carried out a series of political programs, including general elections, considered the freest elections in Nigeria history. General Babangida nonetheless annulled the election and denied the winner of the election, Chief MKO Abiola, his mandate. Instead, he stepped aside and handed over the reins of power to Chief Ernest Shoneko, an industrialist of USC fame. Chief Shoneko's government was short-lived as General Sani Abacha, in a palace coup, shoveled him aside within 90 days of his rulership in 1993. General Abacha put Chief MKO Abiola in cell for insisting on his mandate. However, General Abacha, who never bothered about the crisis that followed the annulment of the result of the presidential election, later died in 1998. General Abdulsalam Abubakar, who succeeded General Abacha in 1998, was sincere and apolitical. He quickly conducted general elections in 1999 and transferred power to the president-elect on 29 May 1999. 29 May remained Democracy Day in Nigeria since 1999 until the immediate past president, Buhari, thought otherwise. He remembered Chief MKO Abiola's blood shed for Nigeria's Fourth Republic, and on 6 June 2018 called on Nigerians to mark June 12 every year as our Democracy Day in honor of Chief MKO Abiola and others who put their lives on line to establish the Fourth Republic.
I think he's correct, because Abiola is a great man. He cannot die just like that. He died for democracy. So it's good we celebrate June 12th.
Based on the history of Nigeria, what happened in June 12th is worth celebrating.
6 years after marking June 12 as Nigeria Democracy Day, what has changed in the nation? What robust laws have been made to cater for security, healthcare, employment, and social needs of the Nigerian electorate?
We have been helping, passing good bills, looking at bills that are beneficiary to the common man, and that's what we've been doing. I'm sure you know.
People are just being managing their life or being managing themselves. Not that the government is well doing to them, but they're just managing them life themselves.
Respondents say the uninterrupted democracy from 1999 to date is what Nigerians should beat their chests as what to celebrate. This victory has been swallowed by the current economic hardship in the land.
Well, our democracy has matured. If you look at what is happening in some other places in Africa where military has taken over, you know that our democracy has matured. What we just hope is good governance, so that the common man, there's hunger in the land. And we're all praying that the president should all really live up to the expectations of the people. He's doing his best, but we need all to cooperate to make sure that things become better.
I think we are still practicing military rule, where the will of the masses are not allowed to see the light of the day. So, but I believe that with time, democracy will be our part of life.
June 12, respondents say, reminds them of the need to hail Nigeria's unity on which they stand. In Enugu, Ebenezer Odo, Signature TV News.
On the foreign scene, Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov joined NATO's defense ministers in Brussels on Thursday for a meeting. Speaking ahead of a NATO-Ukraine Council, Umerov said that he was looking forward to next month's NATO summit in Washington, where urgent needs and long-term necessity in the institutional changes will be addressed. Last month, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told reporters at a press conference in Stockholm that NATO summit in July needs to address Ukraine's invitation to become a member of the alliance. Greece have temporarily closed ancient monuments and sites in Athens for a few hours on Thursday, after temperatures passed 42 degrees Celsius in the country's first heat wave of the summer. Dust from North Africa and a haze from the heat blanketed the capital and its buildings, where the Acropolis was closed for a few hours, along with other archaeological sites. Some primary schools were also closed for a second day. Authorities advised Greeks to work remotely from home to avoid driving and any activities outside, to stay hydrated and remain at home. Workers with outdoor jobs were also advised to abstain from activities during peak heat hours. Cooling centers were opened for public in Athens to enjoy air-conditioned lounges. Health Ministry General Secretary Fofo Kaliva said rising temperatures above the norm have now become a fact, and the public needs to adapt and be prepared to take measures to safeguard their health. Greece is one of the most hard-hit countries by global warming in Europe, with rising temperatures, fueling deadly fires and erratic rains in recent years. A new class of pro-Trump influencers are helping shape the immigration debate as the U.S. election campaign heats up. The self-shot video dispatches from U.S. cities and the southern border with Mexico portray migrants in the U.S. illegally as dangerous, burdensome, and as part of a plan to grow the ranks of Democratic voters. Linking migrants to crime has become a dominant theme of Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump's third election campaign, even though academics who study the issue say there is no evidence to show that immigrants commit crimes at higher rates than native-born Americans. The videos amplify Republican attacks that falsely claim Democratic President Joe Biden supports an open border policy, as well as highlighting illegal immigration, which supporters of both parties see as a problem. Biden took office in 2021, vying to reverse many of Trump's restrictive border policies, but he has struggled with the millions of migrants caught crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally on his watch. Coming up next on the news, Ukrainian soccer squad train in Germany ahead of Euro 2024. Stay with us. Welcome back. In sports, the management of Signature Television and High Sky Entertainment have agreed to promote tourism in Nigeria using sports as a vehicle. The two organizations made a commitment when the management of High Sky Entertainment visited the Raymond Dokpesi Broadcasting House of Signature TV in Enugu. Correspondent Chinemerem Ikebuna covered the visit and now reports.
Receiving guests at the corporate headquarters of Signature TV in Enugu, the president of Signature TV, Vin Martin Obioreilo, described tourism as a big window for economic growth. Ilo told the visitors who are organizing the Coal City International Cup that an international football competition like the Coal City Cup will open new doors of investment for Enugu and Southeast region. He expressed the Signature TV's readiness to support the competition.
This is to recognize Signature TV for what you've done. Whatever we can do to ensure that this show that you're bringing back home is successful, we'll do.
He outlined several benefits that tourism brings to a nation and the need to make more investments in that area.
There's so many countries in the world. Like we say, oil is our cash cow. Tourism is providing employment. Tourism is providing development. And if you go abroad, if you go to the European countries, and I believe that what you're doing would be part of really, really kicking off the tourism interest that we want to bring back here.
The chief executive officer of the company, Ifeanyi Chukwu Obu, spoke on their vision for organizing the competition. Obu also spoke of the dream of the organization to promote grassroots football partnership with Signature TV.
Every game is a big game. Yeah, every game, Rangers and Cologne, Corinthians versus Rangers, so it's all a big game. So we are basically reaching out to everybody who is a partner to partner with us. Our slogan is everyone can play. We thought it would be proper for us to pay a visit to Signature TV, come and acknowledge what you are doing, and also extend a hand of friendship in any way we can for us to collaborate.
The championship, they said, will hold from the 1st to the 11th of August and will feature 4 local teams and 4 foreign teams. Both organizations are in agreement that sports will go a long way in boosting tourism in the country and creating opportunity for youth if properly harnessed. Chinemeremi Kebuna for Signature TV.
The Ukrainian squad held a public training session on Thursday, 4 days before their first Euro 2024 match against Romania. Ukrainian fans with flags and drums watched their team take to the pitch ahead of their first major tournament since Russia's full-scale invasion. Along with Romania, Ukraine would also face Belgium and Slovakia in Group E. Although the Belgians are the group favorites, Ukraine are well equipped to reach the knockout stage by finishing second. Borussia Dortmund head coach Edin Terzic would leave his job with immediate effect after asking for his contract to be terminated, the Bundesliga club said on Thursday. Terzic, who took over as coach on a permanent basis in 2022, led Dortmund to the Champions League final last season, where they lost to Real Madrid at London's Wembley Stadium. They finished 5th in the Bundesliga, qualifying for next season's Champions League. He also won the German Cup in 2021, while he was briefly appointed as interim coach. AC Milan has appointed Portuguese Paulo Fonseca as its new head coach on a 3-year contract, replacing Stefano Pillo, the Serie A club announced on Thursday. Pioli left Milan after the 19-time Italian champions finished second last season, 19 points behind champions Inter Milan, and following lackluster runs in the Champions League and the domestic cups. Fonseca, 51, last managed French side Lille and was also in charge of AS Roma from 2019 to 2021. That's the news on this hour. I am Barikumo Ado. Thanks for watching.